Okay, gang, I got loads to tell you about the Magic Kingdom, and I'm shoving it all into one quick crash course so you can learn as much as possible about Disney World's most popular park. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. So Magic Kingdom is an immersive park with multiple lands, tons of rides, lots of dining options, and so much entertainment that there's a good chance you won't see it all during just one visit. In fact, it's practically impossible. However, with today's crash course, we're going to make sure you got a good idea of what you want to prioritize here while also answering some of your honest questions pulled straight from our YouTube comments. That means we're starting off today with a lightning round. In order to build today's lightning round, I've reached into our video comments and handpicked the ones I thought most needed addressing in today's crash course. Lightning powers, activate. 1. Is Magic Kingdom still fun if you don't have kids? Well, Walt Disney made it a point way back in the day that he was building his theme parks for all families to enjoy. But did that mean the adults-only families too? Yeah, I think it does. For years, Magic Kingdom has been a hotspot for engagements and honeymoons and friend and family reunions and baby moons, or even just a nice and wholesome vacation spot for couples or besties or parents with their grown children to escape the real world for a bit. And while there are things in Magic Kingdom that might be a little more targeted to the small fries in your group, Magic Kingdom also has thrill rides like Tron Light Cycle Run and Space Mountain, nostalgic classics like Carousel of Progress and the Enchanted Tiki Room, nice table service restaurants where you can get a glass of wine or a cocktail to go along with your entree, and a lot more entertainment that truly appeals to all ages. Plus, you cannot discount the nostalgia factor. I just wrote a whole book on Disney adults, about Disney adults, you know, us, and so many people love Magic Kingdom because it makes them feel like a kid again. In today's world, that can feel priceless. Okay, lightning round number 2. Which rides tend to have the highest waits? Magic Kingdom's a busy park, y'all. Even during those less crowded times of year, like during back to school season, you might still run into some pretty long queues for several of the park's rides. But the rides that tend to see the highest wait times the most consistently are Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Peter Pan's Flight in Fantasyland, Tron and Space Mountain in Tomorrowland, and Jungle Cruise in Adventureland. Since Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Tron tend to be the two most popular rides of the entire park, you can skip over the bulk of their queues by investing in a single pass lightning lane for these, which will help you bypass the main line at a cost per person per single ride through. But all the other rides we listed have multi-pass lightning lanes available, which will also cost you money to bypass the main lines, but that multi-pass cost per person will instead cover a lot of your Magic Kingdom rides for the day instead of just one at a time. Multi-pass and single-pass lightning lanes can sound a lot like word vomit when you first hear about them, but we've created a free lightning lane guide to help you navigate all things multi and single pass before and during your Disney World vacation. Just to make things a whole lot easier on you, go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen now, or head to disneyfoodblog.com/multipass, and we'll send that guide straight to your email ASAP. It's totally free. Now, just in the meantime, multi-pass and single pass are ways to skip the lines or get into shorter lines for a cost. All right, lightning lane round question number 3. Can we get a roundup of all the new stuff? Frontierland kept busy in 2024. For the time being, this is the only section of Magic Kingdom where you're going to find brand new attractions, unless you haven't gotten the chance to ride Tron yet. That light cycle coaster is still pretty new too, since it's only been open since 2023. On June 28th, Tiana's Bayou Adventure opened as a Princess and the Frog re-theme of the former Splash Mountain Flume ride. So while you'll still get to experience the signature drop from the old ride, the storyline is brand spanking new. The ride picks up after the Princess and the Frog movie, giving you the chance to join Princess Tiana and Louis on a musical adventure. Now, I realize I didn't add this ride to the highest waits list earlier, but that's because Tiana's Bayou Adventure is still currently using a virtual queue system. That opens for guests to join at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. daily via the My Disney Experience app, and that means, per the release of this video, Tiana's does not have a regular standby line during normal park hours. To learn more about the virtual queue system, search disneyfoodblog.com and virtual queues in your Google search engine, and you should see the link to our post dedicated to all things VQ and boarding groups pop up at the very top of the page. Or if you want to skip over the VQ hassle altogether, Tiana's does have a multi-pass lightning lane available that you can try and snag instead. Now, aside from Tiana, those beloved Country Bears have put together an all-new act that opened on July 17th, 2024, with a fresh show featuring classic and Disney songs in new styles like country and rockabilly and bluegrass. And then, of course, how could we possibly forget Smellephants on Parade, the hit scavenger hunt of the year? I'm being a little bit sarcastic there. It's not necessarily a hit scavenger hunt, but it is kind of fun. Smell-o-phints on Parade opened back in May, and it's a complimentary, family-friendly search and sniff adventure where guests will become Timothy Q. Mouse's whiff assistants to help out Dumbo's newest act. Just stop by the ticket booth near Big Top Souvenirs to get a free guide map and get started. And lightning round question number 4 is the food bad? This might feel like a strange question, but it's a fair question to ask. Magic Kingdom definitely isn't the best known for serving 5-star cuisine, not like Epcot and Animal Kingdom can pull off. But that doesn't necessarily mean the food here is bad. In fact, I've got some stellar recommendations for places to eat all around this park that I'll be covering later on in the video. What I will say though is that the team and I tend to prefer Magic Kingdom snacks over its main meals, because when it comes to sweet treats and savory bites, Magic Kingdom does a pretty good job. Okay, lightning round done. Let's go to the rest of the crash course. Every Magic Kingdom land plus the problem child. All right, we're still gonna make things snappy as we cover a lot of Magic Kingdom ground in just a little amount of time. Starting with what on earth you're gonna actually see once you step foot inside this park, beyond Cinderella Castle, that is. Magic Kingdom is made up of 6 whimsical lands. Main Street USA sets the turn of the century scene, inspired by Walt Disney's childhood home of Marceline, Missouri. Now, we actually have a whole video completely dedicated to Main Street that we released not too long ago, going into all the details and secrets you might have overlooked in this section of the park otherwise, so check that video out when you get the chance. Okay, Fantasyland welcomes all lords and ladies and knights and princesses and the child in all of us to take a magical nighttime flight over London, go under the sea with Ariel, take a spin in a teacup with the Mad Hatter, and remind ourselves that it really is a small world after all. How was that? That was a great sentence. Kudos to Bria. Bria's my scriptwriter if you are new here, and that was just an incredible sentence right there, Bria. Nice job. All right, Tomorrowland is a bright, neon-enhanced retro version of the future where you can blast off into a great, big, beautiful tomorrow and ride the People Mover over and over and over again, which is what I tend to do. Liberty Square invites you to travel back to colonial America in tribute to the nation's early history. It's also the home of Haunted Mansion, which might be the main reason you want to make a beeline over to this section of the park. Adventureland is for the explorers and the vagabonds and the daredevils at heart, where you can experience the world-famous Jungle Cruise, plunge into a pirate-infested realm, or dance alongside the birds who sing words while the flowers bloom. Yes, that's the Enchanted Tiki Room. And then there's Frontierland. In case you haven't placed it together already, this is our problem child today. Normally, Frontierland is supposed to transport you back in time to the Wild West of the 1800s, but there's a possibility that it might not feel like that the next time you visit. While Frontierland did just bring us 2 revamped attractions this year, this area of the park is about to undergo a whole lot more extensive renovations for the foreseeable future. Part of that's going to be completely transforming the current Tom Sawyer Island and Rivers of America into a new Cars Land. Construction will start up on this new area early in 2025. And the other part of that's going to be revamping Big Thunder Mountain to give it new effects and a good old spit shine as far as we know. Now, renovations here are going to begin on January 6th, 2025, and it's going to be closed for a whole year. We're not exactly sure what they're going to do at Big Thunder Mountain, but we know that that long closure might have something to do with them also doing potential work on the Villains Land that's coming right behind Big Thunder Mountain. Again, these are not going to be quick turnarounds, so once those construction walls go up, they're going to be up for a good long while, maybe even years in the case of Cars Land, so brace yourself because Frontierland's going to look like a hot mess here for a little bit. Now, before you go, I promised to set you up for Magic Kingdom success during this crash course, and this is the best way I know how to do it. So before you start planning out your next visit, or even your first visit ever, please keep these things in mind. Number 1, you'll probably have to budget more for your Magic Kingdom day. Magic Kingdom is pretty notorious for having the highest theme park ticket prices for single-day tickets, and the highest multi-pass prices too. In 2025, single-day tickets, where you'll be able to visit one park and one park only during your trip, will average around $119 to $169, though prices can get higher or lower than that depending on the time of year your trip falls. And from that average, Magic Kingdom single-day tickets normally surpass the prices of the other 3 parks. That being said, when you get a multi-day ticket where you'll be visiting 2 or more Disney parks during your trip, the prices for tickets per day are all going to be the same, regardless of which parks you're going to check out on which days. And the more park days you visit, the lower your ticket cost is going to be. I remember staying in the Disney hotels 100 years ago, and you'd see that ad come on the resort TV that said, "The more you stay, the less you pay per day." And that's what they still do if they want to make sure that you're staying more days, and so they let you have cheaper tickets the more days you stay. All those words are starting to sound weird now. Okay. Next planning tip, only 3 hotels will give you direct monorail access. Now, the monorail can be a real nifty free transportation method that'll deliver you right up to the front gates of Magic Kingdom. The only resorts with direct monorail access are Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, Disney's Contemporary Resort, and Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, all of which are deluxe level resorts, meaning you're more than likely not going to see room prices at these hotels drop below the $600 per night mark. That being said, everyone's allowed to ride the monorail, even if you're just trying to escape Magic Kingdom for a little bit, and instead go visit one of those monorail resorts for a nice meal and a break from the park crowds. Fort Wilderness and Wilderness Lodge are also resorts within the Magic Kingdom area, but neither location is situated on the monorail line. However, this does mean you might see slightly cheaper prices for these 2 resorts, plus you'll still have bus and boat transportation to help deliver you right up to the Magic Kingdom gates. For all the other Disney-owned resorts, you're more than welcome to use that free Disney bus transportation to get you over to the park. Just keep in mind that bus crowds can be pretty packed at the start and end of the day, so factor in that extra waiting and travel time into your daily itineraries. Next tip, when it comes to planning, don't let the transportation and ticket center ruin your morning or night. If you decide not to take a Disney resort bus, or you're staying at a non-Disney hotel that has its own bus transportation that'll take you over to the park, be aware because you will have to navigate the transportation and ticket center. Now, the TTC isn't scary. It can just be confusing for those who think they've arrived at Magic Kingdom once they've parked, only to find out they've still got a whole other ferry ride or monorail ride to take the rest of the way over to the front gates. Only Disney-owned transportation will drop you off right in front of Magic Kingdom. But for everyone else who'll be driving their car or taking a rideshare or using a non-Disney hotel shuttle, you'll arrive at the TTC first and then take another mode of transportation the rest of the way to the park. Again, this is something you'll want to factor into your schedule because the lines going to and from the transportation and ticket center can get long at the start and end of the day. And then we love finding the activities with little to no wait. Like I mentioned earlier, Magic Kingdom's a pretty hoppin' place, so your kids might get bored or antsy having to wait in line after line after line for rides. But here's a quick list of attractions that families can check out together once the ride fatigue has started to settle in. We love the Pirate's Adventure, Treasures of the Seven Seas. Pick up a free treasure map and talisman over at the Crow's Nest in Adventureland and follow the clues to solve a mystery. Once you collect all 5 cards in the game, you'll get a 6th card signed by Captain Jack himself. And yes, this experience is completely free to play. Casey Jr.'s Splash and Soak Station. This splash pad over in Storybook Circus is the perfect way to cool off on a hot Florida day thanks to all the interactive water features coming from the engine and various circus animals. Now, this is way tucked back in a part of the park nobody really goes to unless they're going to take that train from Storybook Circus, so it's kind of a nice breather for the adults in the group as well. We talked about this one earlier on already, but just as a refresher, Smellephants is free, it's scented, it has elephants, and it's something we never really asked for from Disney, but what they apparently thought we needed, so we'll happily accept it. The Hide and Seek with Pascal. Now, while you're hanging out in the Tangled area, you can actually go on a scavenger hunt to find the 10 Pascals, or really friends of Pascal, that have been hidden all around this Fantasyland space. This is what you do when you're waiting for Aunt Susan in the bathroom. Okay, find the tiny doors. This is something I like doing because I love regular day things that have been shrunk down into teeny tiny things, like the various miniature doors scattered around Magic Kingdom that we keep seeing more and more of each time we visit. It's like they're replicating or something. The tiny doors we've been able to track down so far include the regal looking door hidden in the wall surrounding Cinderella Castle, the wooden door tucked behind Bonjour Village Gifts, the red door on the 2nd floor of the Frontierland train station, Laurie's door located on the side of the new Critter Co-op gift shop in Frontierland, and the mouse-sized door on the new ticket booth in front of Big Top Treats. See if you can find them all and let me know if you happen to find any more. We got a collection going on here. Moving on to the best dining in each land. This is probably one of the most important parts of this video, so look alive, everybody. Okay, 6 lands means a lot of dining and snacking potential, so I'm going to quickly run through our top 3 places to grab a bite or snack to eat inside each land. Here we go, Main Street, USA. Let's talk about Crystal Palace first. This offers all you care to enjoy buffet character dining and is the only character dining experience in all of Disney World where you can meet Tigger, Pooh, Eeyore, and Piglet. Now, character dining, for those who don't know, is where you have a sit-down meal and the characters come around to your table and meet and greet. On the buffet line here, expect all sorts of options like seafood, a loaded tater tot bar, and a prime rib carving station during lunch and dinner, and your classic eggs, bacon, sausage, etc. during breakfast. If you're very lucky, they might have those churro Mickey waffles here, which are incredible. Main Street Confectionery. When you need something to satisfy your sweet tooth, the best place to stop in Magic Kingdom is Main Street Confectionery. This old-fashioned styled candy shop is going to be your go-to place for baked goods, candies, custom popcorn creations, and all things sweet. Don't forget that you do have mobile order available here, so you don't have to wait in the really long line. Get on your My Disney Experience app and use mobile order to order whatever you want from the confectionery and then head on in and pick it up. And Casey's Corner. Casey's Corner serves up that ballpark classic hot dogs and corn dogs. We're pretty partial to the corn dog nuggets with a side of plastic cheese here, especially since we can eat them while we're still admiring that Cinderella Castle view. If you don't know what plastic cheese is, just ask in the comments and we'll be sure to let you know. Now, of course, there's lots of other places on Main Street USA to eat. You can go to Plaza Restaurant, you can go to the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor, but Bria is forcing me to keep this short, so I'm not going to talk about every single place to eat. But if you want to know about every single place to eat, go ahead over to dfbstore.com and grab our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining, where we talk endlessly about all of these places. All right, moving on to Fantasyland. Cinderella's Royal Table and Be Our Guest Restaurant. Okay, I'm cheating here with a 2-for-1 castle dining deal. I couldn't just leave one of them out. They're both impressive. Cinderella's Royal Table gives you the rare opportunity to dine inside the Cinderella Castle. This signature restaurant is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and throughout the course of your prix-fixe meal, you'll be able to meet a handful of your favorite Disney princesses. Though characters may vary here, the princesses typically spotted tend to include Ariel, Aurora, Jasmine, and Snow White. And of course, you will meet Cinderella herself before you go up to your table. Meanwhile, Be Our Guest Restaurant serves French-inspired prix-fixe cuisine during lunch and dinner, all while you dine inside the Beast's castle. The only way to get inside, y'all, is to actually eat there. Now, the completely immersive atmosphere is the big selling point of this spot and provides a stunning setting that'll place you either inside the ballroom, the Rose Gallery, or the West Wing. We always recommend the West Wing because that's where the actual rose is. It's dripping its petals, and like really cool things happen in this room that don't happen in the others. Next up, let's talk Gaston's Tavern. If you're looking for a cinnamon roll that's roughly the size of a barge, then head straight to Gaston's. You'll find other affordable snacks and bites here too, like croissants, tarts, cupcakes, and that famous LeFou's brew made with frozen apple juice, a hint of toasted marshmallow, and passion fruit mango foam. By the way, the cinnamon rolls here, if you haven't been to Disney World for like 20 years, these are the ones that used to be sold at Main Street Bakery, those famous Main Street Bakery cinnamon rolls. They're over here now. And let's talk about Pinocchio Village House real quick. The name of the game at Pinocchio Village House is quick service flatbreads, like pizzas, though you can find a few other fast food bites on the menu here too, like the truffle parm fries and tomato basil soup. Sometimes the sides are where it's at this particular location. Hidden gem now, if you dine in Pinocchio Village House, track down the wish book in the dining area. This book is located in the back left side of the restaurant and is left there so that guests can write their wishes on the inside. Other hidden gems here, definitely see if you can get a seat by the window looking into It's a Small World. They sometimes have signs that you can wave at the folks writing It's a Small World to make them wave at you or touch their nose or something like that. It's super cute. Also, there is a special exclusive place to dine at Pinocchio Village House. Go upstairs, a lot of people don't, and you will find a special balcony outside where you can dine and look at the castle. I love it, and nobody knows about it. Heading over to Liberty Tree Tavern. This is a restaurant that I really, really love. I feel like it's kind of lost a little bit of its luster for some folks, but this is still a nostalgic favorite for me. It's themed after a late 18th century home. This restaurant is divided into different rooms decorated to reflect famous names from the United States Revolutionary period, like Benjamin Franklin, Betsy Ross, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Paul Jones. Now, the meal here is served family style with all you care to enjoy Thanksgiving-like staples like roasted turkey, pot roast, oven roasted pork, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, seasonal veggies, herb stuffing, and of course the ooey gooey toffee cake, one of my very favorite desserts in all of Disney World and has been so for like 20 years. Now, next door, you can head over to Columbia Harbor House. This is New England-inspired surf and turf in a quick service setting, or if you're like me, you can even come here just to pick up a quick hush puppy. And then there's Sleepy Hollow Refreshments right across the street. This serves up big snacks, including funnel cakes, loaded waffles, hand-dipped corn dogs, and more, all within view of Cinderella Castle. Over in Frontierland, we're going to recommend Pecos Bill Tall Tale Inn and Cafe. I know, you're surprised. It's okay, there's not too much here. Pecos Bill is the sole full quick service of Frontierland, where you can grab a full entree of Tex-Mex cuisine with items like tacos and nachos and fajitas and more. Westward Ho is where you're going to get cold brew coffee, frozen slushies, even a sweet and savory snack that's one of my favorites. You can pick up the candied bacon skewer. Now, if they will ever bring back the Wendell's Bear Claw, I would be very happy about that, Disney, if you're listening. And Diamond Horseshoe. This is basically going to give you the exact same Thanksgiving-like family-style meal that Liberty Tree Tavern does. They share a kitchen, just in a saloon setting rather than a revolutionary one. So you can basically choose your time period to have this meal. In Adventureland, of course, we're going to talk about Skipper Canteen. This is based on the classic Disney attraction, the Jungle Cruise. Here, the famous wacky Jungle Cruise skippers serve up fun along with internationally inspired cuisine. Yep, the skippers are your servers. Now, hidden gem, if you dine at Skipper Canteen, there are a few different rooms where you could be seated. One of these is the SEA room, the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. As the story goes, the secret meeting room was previously hidden behind a bookcase, and you're going to pass that bookcase as you head inside. Definitely check out some of the titles on that bookcase. There are tons of puns. That was a pun right there. Tons of puns right there on the bookcase, and they're so much fun to look at. I would just stand there and read them all day. Also in Adventureland, we've got Aloha Isle. You can head here to pick up a tried and true Disney favorite treat, pineapple Dole Whip, or don't pick up the OG pineapple and get a completely different Dole Whip concoction that you might like even better, like the Tropical Serenade or the Coconut Cup. Sunshine Tree Terrace is another location inside Adventureland with Dole Whip specialties and often has Dole Whip flavors like strawberry or orange, as well as create your own floats. And then the Spring Roll Cart. This colorful cart is located right outside the Adventureland entrance and serves unique spring roll twists with rotating options that usually include one of our all-time faves, the cheeseburger spring rolls. Heading over to Tomorrowland, we've got Cosmic Rays Starlight Cafe. Now, Tomorrowland doesn't have a table service you can rely on, but they do have Cosmic Rays. Can you rely on it? Sometimes. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Cosmic Rays serves up theme park classics like burgers and chicken nuggets, while the audio animatronic Alien Lounge crooner Sunny Eclipse serenades you on the keys. We love Sunny Eclipse. We actually have a t-shirt dedicated to Sunny Eclipse over at dfbstore.com if you love him as much as we do. Then there's Anti-Gravity's Galactic Goodies. Anti-Gravity's has a variety of soft serve options to choose from, including cold brew soft serve floats, get it with the caramel soft serve by the way, and seasonal options too. And finally, if you're looking for specialty coffee and tea drinks without having to take on the super long lines over at Main Street Bakery, head to Joffrey's Revive in Tomorrowland for a morning, afternoon, or evening pick-me-up. Okay, I know that was just a whirlwind of restaurants thrown at you all at once, but I promise we go into a whole lot more detail about each of these locations and more in that DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining on the dfbstore.com website. Our dining guide talks about every single Disney World restaurant, lounge, snack cart, everything, as well as what our DFB team loves about them and what they think you should be wary about before booking reservations or heading to that spot. And we've even all worked together to create several different dining budgets that you can use as a springboard when creating your own budget for your upcoming trip. So head on over to dfbstore.com to check out all of our guidebooks and, of course, our t-shirts like I mentioned before. Time for special events. Let's add a little more magic to your Magic Kingdom visit. Throughout the year, Magic Kingdom has limited seasonal parties and after-hours events that you can purchase instead of or on top of your regular theme park ticket. But let's start by talking about the after-hours events first, since I am super stoked to see them return in 2025. I love these. I think they're a great deal. If I'm there during an after-hours event, I will normally buy a ticket for it. Now, after-hours at Magic Kingdom will take place on select nights from January 6th to May 19th. And during this event, the capacity will be limited so that guests have easy access to Magic Kingdom's 20+ attractions without having to worry about those major ride lines. You can even ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure without needing a virtual queue or a multi-pass lightning lane. You just walk right up on in and get in line. Easy breezy. And because they limit capacity at these events, you don't have to wait in a really long line. I know, you see why I get these tickets. So you'll also get complimentary ice cream, popcorn, and drinks throughout the night. Oh, and get this, Magic Kingdom's after hours guests will get an exclusive fireworks show in Enchantment. If that show sounds familiar to you, it's because Enchantment was the castle show that played each night during Disney World's 50th anniversary celebration. But then the Nighttime Spectacular Happily Ever After tagged back in shortly after the celebration concluded in April 2023. So here's what's really cool about that. While After Hours at Magic Kingdom begins at 10 p.m. and lasts for 3 hours, ending at 1 a.m., guests with tickets for the event may enter the park as early as 7 p.m. That's right, so you get an extra 3 hours with your ticket price. And that means you'd have the chance to see both of Magic Kingdom's nighttime spectaculars in one evening. Happily Ever After fireworks show and the Enchantment fireworks show. Definitely a bonus. And now on to the holiday extravaganza. So Magic Kingdom holiday parties start in August, I know, and run through December. From August to October, you can go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And then in November and December, you've got Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Holiday party festivities start at 7 p.m. and run until midnight. And on the days that the party happens, Magic Kingdom will close early at 6 p.m. and guests of the party will be able to enter at 4 p.m. I know, lots of PMs there for you. Now, these holiday parties are separately ticketed events, just like the After Hours events. So if you have a ticket to Magic Kingdom that day, it's not going to automatically get you into the After Hours events or the parties. You're going to have to buy a separate ticket for those. Now, it's important to note that Disney doesn't limit the number of tickets nearly as much with the holiday parties as they do with the After Hours events. So if you're visiting on a sold out night, you may have a hard time finding a good spot to watch the exclusive fireworks or parades if you don't stake out a spot early there in the holiday party events. That being said, the entertainment is the main draw for these holiday parties, so if you're there to mainly knock out a whole lot of rides, you still may be able to do that without worrying too much about long waits. And good news, Tiana's Bayou Adventure still has a standby queue during the holiday parties too, as does Tron, of course, because it's a standby queue all the time now. But there is more info here. During Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, you can head to select spots around the park to trick or treat and fill up a bag with complimentary candy. And at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, Magic Kingdom will have free cookies and cocoa and eggnog and apple cider for you to pick up during party hours. The parties will also have exclusive snacks and drinks available for purchase that you won't find during regular day Magic Kingdom hours. All right, we have made it to the show extravaganza part of our video, and we're going to rank the shows you need to prioritize in Magic Kingdom. Instead of just naming off all these different entertainment offerings that you can find around MK, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to rank all the different shows from the ones you should check out if you've got the time to the ones you've got to prioritize, especially if this is your first time ever visiting Magic Kingdom. So keep in mind that this is our team's personal ranking scale, and yours might be way different, which is a-okay. Because while we're ranking the shows on a scale of 1 to 10, this is all about prioritizing and not about what we think of the quality of the show. Honestly, I'm a pretty big fan of most of the Magic Kingdom shows, so the more you can cram into your Magic Kingdom day, the better. Starting with Hall of Presidents. Over in Liberty Square, the Hall of Presidents shows an original film sharing the journey of the nation, followed by a stunning display of all the American presidents on stage and an audio animatronic display. This one might not be the most engaging show for younger kiddos, but all those animatronics are a sight to behold and worth checking out at least once. There's also a lot of very cool Imagineering detail with these presidents, like very specific things that sometimes you can't even see, which is cool to learn about. Priority, 5 out of 10. The Disney Adventure Cavalcade. Think of this like a shortened parade. While it's not going to be as extravagant as Festival of Fantasy, it'll still give you the chance to see characters you might not see during your Disney trip otherwise, like Nick and Judy and Baloo, Miguel, Merida, Moana, Elena, Toy Story characters, Clarabelle, and more. Priority, 6 out of 10. Super quick to do though. Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. This uses audience participation to get the jokes rolling. If you're not super comfortable with being called out on the spot, you might want to skip this one, although that means you're going to be missing out on the opportunity to be that guy. If you know, you know. Priority, 6 out of 10. Enchanted Tales with Belle. Step inside the cottage of Maurice and Belle and through a magic mirror, that's probably one of the coolest things in Magic Kingdom, to enjoy a live retelling of Beauty and the Beast with help from Lumiere and Mrs. Potts and Belle herself, and maybe even you. Enchanted Tales is not a traditional meet and greet location, but is a fun and unique way to interact with some of your favorite characters straight from the castle, and you may be able to take part in the show. Priority, 6.5 out of 10. This is probably more for the little kids than the adults, but that magic mirror is pretty cool. Country Bear Musical Jamboree. We already talked about this one a little earlier since it's new, but Country Bear Musical Jamboree is truly a cute audio animatronic show that I think think is worth the watch, even if you might be a little sad that it replaced the classic performance that used to be here before. Priority 7 out of 10. Mickey's Magical Friendship Fair. This is a show that takes place several times throughout the day on the Cinderella Castle stage. Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Goofy are joined by other fan favorite Disney characters like friends from The Princess and the Frog and Tangled and Frozen. This is another solid choice if you got kids who want to see the characters but not necessarily meet them in a one-on-one setting. Priority 7.5 out of 10. The Dapper Dans are Main Street's very own barbershop quartet. Even if you're busy browsing the shops, this talented quartet is worth the stop, even if you've only got time to hear a song or two. Priority 8 out of 10. Mickey's PhilharMagic. This is questionable whether it's a show, an attraction, whatever you want to call it, but you get the sights and the sounds and even the sense of PhilharMagic in Fantasyland, bringing songs and scenes with popular Disney films to life in a whole new way. It's basically a 3D show. There's rarely ever a huge wait for this one, plus it's got some really crisp AC for you to enjoy. Priority 8 out of 10. Enchanted Tiki Room is next. Now, Bria had this listed after the Carousel of Progress, thinking that it's better than the Carousel of Progress, but you and I know that it's not better than the Carousel of Progress, so I just had to stop and move those around. Nobody tell Bria, though, that I moved them around because she, for some reason, really likes the Enchanted Tiki Room. I can take it or leave it. Carousel of Progress is my, home truth right there. Anyway, Enchanted Tiki Room. Join Jose and Michael and Fritz and Pierre and over 225 audio animatronic birds in this classic tropical Adventureland show. The Enchanted Tiki Room songs might get stuck in your head. They will. But this one's a classic that's been around the park for a long time. Priority 8 out of 10, or if you're Bria, 8.5. And Carousel of Progress. Take a tour through the century in Carousel of Progress's revolving Tomorrowland Theater and see the ways progress and innovation have enhanced the lives of one family over 4 generations. Kind of like All the Presidents. Kiddos might not have the best attention span for this one, but there is a lot that happens throughout the course of the show. There's a lot of if you know, you know moments. This is like original 1964 World's Fair situation. It's epic. I love it. Please go. Priority 8.5 out of 10. Next is the character meet and greets. Okay, so Disney friends can show up anywhere in Magic Kingdom, but there are a few locations dedicated to character meet and greets where you can be certain to meet your favorites, such as Town Square Theater in Main Street, USA, where you're going to meet Mickey Mouse, Fairy Tale Hall in Fantasyland, where you can meet several princesses at once, and Pete's Silly Sideshow in Storybook Circus to meet members of the Fab Five in their circus attire. Check the My Disney Experience app to see which characters will be out and about during your Magic Kingdom day. Priority 8.5 out of 10. The Festival of Fantasy Parade is next. It begins in Frontierland, winds through Liberty Square, and continues in Main Street, USA. Seriously, even if you're not big on parades, this one is really cool and even has a fire-breathing steampunk Maleficent dragon. Again, check the My Disney Experience app for updated parade times because sometimes Festival of Fantasy happens twice, sometimes it only happens once. Priority 9 out of 10. And Happily Ever After. This is it. The big one. Once each night, Happily Ever After lights up the skies over Cinderella Castle with stunning fireworks set to classic Disney songs. Now, Disney characters and iconic film moments are projected on Cinderella Castle throughout the show, and those projections extend all the way down Main Street, USA. Make sure to stake out your spot early for this one, like 30 to 45 minutes before showtime in busy seasons. Priority 10 out of 10. Okay, would you believe there's still more to discover about Magic Kingdom than what we've covered in today's crash course? Of course there is. We got tons of videos that dive into specific ride reviews and one-day itineraries and restaurant rankings and more. And you can find them all by checking out our DFB Magic Kingdom playlist right here on our channel. And don't forget about that free Lightning Lane guide I mentioned earlier, waiting for you over at disneyfoodblog.com/multipass. It's totally free. It can help you not only figure out if this additional purchase is right for your upcoming trip, but also figure out which lightning lanes you might want to prioritize in Magic Kingdom and all the other parks too. And yes, we are loading you up with resources here because we want you to have the best Magic Kingdom day ever. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.